Yeah, so this will kind of continue brilliantly the previous presentation, and we will take a journey deeper, provided my slides are up there. We'll see in a moment, otherwise I improvise. Yes, we will take a deeper dive into generative AI, kind of, which is very much in hype nowadays. And yeah, that's your chance to scan that. And okay, here we go. Yeah, so we were asked to prepare kind of a talk about, addressing kind of AI, what is realistic, where AI is good, and then maybe how AI should be used, what use cases, and where it's less good. And technically, what we do is that we test AI and play with, and I'm talking about generative AI ourselves, as much as possible. We really drive it to the limits because we want to understand actually what it can do and why it can do it, and where actually it performs a lot poorer, and whether that trend remains and will continue in the coming years, or it will just go away with the new kind of version of coming models. And we develop our systems to help the process and to make better AI, train better models, or even connect actually AI to whatever we have, that we have something that is really reliable and better. So, the hype, I'm sure everybody's familiar with ChatGPT, Dolly, Sora, Stable Diffusion, all these buzzwords out there on YouTube, and then like, wow, yeah, they do amazing stuff. They look really like sometimes they look smarter than humans. Yeah, it looks like better, but actually in reality they aren't. Yeah, they have a lot of shortcomings. The purpose of this talk not to talk down AI. It's great, and it's going to be epic, and it's changing the world as we know it. To use it in the right way, together with the right other tools, that actually the end result adds up, yeah, and it's useful. Otherwise, it may not deliver on the promises, as everybody thinks, that we just plug in these new general models and it just replaces everything we know, because that's not quite how it works. So, for the few of you who are maybe not that familiar with what is generative AI, what is AI, how does it work, and then why does it work? Why does it do it? So basically, it's one approach to kind of try to explain what it does, and it takes us back to basically to the 19th century mathematics, and that's Legendre and Gauss. And I'm sure in construction the Gaussian splatting is already out there as another buzzword, but same guy. Same mathematic principles. Not with the AI, but yeah, the same mathematician behind, yeah. So basically, all it does is that we have a number of points, yeah, in the first chart, and then we know those data points, and then we try to guess that what might be in between them, yeah. So we try to fit a function on it, yeah. That's simple. It's called linear regression, but yeah, it's just a function, yeah. Like in school on blackboards, just you draw a line somewhere, it fits in the middle, and then it's nice and tidy. And it looks like it follows that trend. The problem is that the real world is a little bit more complex than that. And you have these curvy little things. So with one line, you are not really winning the game. But that's what actually AI does, that it not just uses one line, but uses many. And then it approximates these complex kind of things. And that's why you get this forest of artificial neurons, where actually, they each try to work together and approximate that thing. That's it, really. It's that simple, and that's what behind everything. Right. It comes with price tags. These big models. First of all, generative AI is about reduced computation. Not everything in nature can be reused forever. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Yeah, and if you Google it, read about it, then you will bump into this from more famous academic people than myself. I'm not the guy saying it, but it is what it is. And that's just one problem. The other one is, yeah, kind of a cost versus a performance result, whether it's worse to use an AI system for certain problems because, well, it's very expensive to train it. If it's small training data, that is not that smart. If it's huge training data, then that's a lot of data and a lot of computation, a lot of energy. Actually, nowadays, the power is becoming a problem for generative AI models. It is a problem already for ChatGPT and all the open AI models and for everybody else, yeah? They will end up at the same place where actually all these crypto miners did, that they set up their mines next to hydro power plants, yeah? AI people are thinking about relocating closer to nuclear, yeah, because they need a lot of electricity. Plus, well, it's a black box, yeah. So it's so complex that no one can back engineer actually how things just generate and happen. But it's truly amazing and it does a lot of great things and it's obviously useful. Right, so about the limitations where it's not necessarily that great or can be trusted. So yeah, I played actually 2 days ago with the ChatGPT 4.0 model, which is the latest, and I will show you how it fails with an example. Yeah, yeah. So it's still struggling with prime numbers. To recap, prime number in mathematics is basically a number which can be divided by itself and 1, and that's it. There are no other divisors. You can't just explain it. That's it. So in an earlier model, people queried that this question, like 2,457, don't ask me why that number, it is what it is, and then it asked to actually explain, to split it up to basically a prime factors, meaning is that try to describe it to the multiplication of a few prime numbers and you get back the number. It got it wrong. ChatGPT 4.0 gets it right, but that has probably a reason why it gets it right, and still the fundamental problem didn't go away because the principles didn't change, yeah, just more data was pumped into it. And our guess, and it's a guess, that basically that test became part of the next training data cycle, and it's just, the new model just knows this specific example. But then I said, like, okay, so try this number, 2557, yeah? It's a bit naughty because that's a prime number, and AI doesn't know that. So here we go. It tries, actually it does everything well, but it has no clue it's a prime number, yeah? It's trying to solve it, and it gets into an endless loop, and it tries to break down with actually larger and larger prime numbers. It tries to divide it, it doesn't work, and then it times out and gives up, says like, okay, yeah, that's just not happening. It gave up, yeah? But then, right after this, if we ask the same model that is 2557 is a prime number, then it says, yes, it is a prime number. But then the model doesn't see the relation between the two, yeah? And this is just one stupid, silly example. And there are many, yeah? And this is 4.0, yeah? So the very latest. And yeah, they are already struggling with data. They scrape the internet, they like, yeah, they're running out of data, literally. So that's just one example. Then, well, there are many more where actually people should be more careful actually how to deploy these systems. It's very much training data dependent. Yeah, that's kind of trivial. But the training data might not be up to date. It might be biased. We have seen many memes on the internet about this. Well, yeah, that's not necessarily the right thing. There is a limitation of understanding very often, that we ask the question, and we're talking about the language models now, so this is just text, getting to images, and then 3D and construction and all that. So that's why we're here. It often actually focuses on the wrong part of the problem. Yeah, it comes back with a prompt with an answer, but it's just something else. It's not necessarily what we want to hear. Yeah, that wasn't really the meaning of our question. And What did we put in for number 4? Execution is a task. Yeah, okay, let's just move on. So, yeah, that's reality. Yeah, it's not quite like that. Yes, we talked about past failures become future training exercises. That kind of happened with the prime number thing. Right. So, and we just judged text so far, and now we get into other parts of generative AI, which is about image generation, video, and kind of getting out to the real world and stuff. And then, yeah, weird things can happen. And, well, some just like in the middle look creepy, yeah, and that's, it's almost funny, but and maybe new models recover from there, and that's fine. But I'm more worried about the car on the left, that is not functional. And if I plug back the outcome of this into simulator, it won't do a thing. Yeah? It breaks. Yeah? It doesn't work. And then we didn't touch more complex questions like, okay, what about the engine and the machinery inside a car? Can the AI build that? Maybe, maybe not. It depends. Yeah. Similar actually on the right with the inaccessible balconies, and actually if you zoom in, then basically you see a large mess in the distance. It doesn't even make sense from there on, although the front side looks tidy. And basically spatial problems are all around construction, aren't they? Yeah, this might be a problem just to run AI solely, generative AI, especially when we want to fly in a UAV or a swarm, and especially in unfamiliar terrain where even the training data might not quite represent, and then that makes even the response even weaker. There's another recent actually observation and paper just out which says that they measured many models, the recent models, and they actually, academics measure kind of a slowdown, meaning is that no matter how much more training data you pump into these models, it doesn't change them in principle how they work and why they work. And although they still gain improvement, but the improvement is kind of, the curve is flattening. Yep. And that means that in the coming years, unless there's a principal fundamental change in these models, and just tiny little modifications, additions, then basically it will be more and more expensive to get extra performance and accuracy out of future models. Well, ChatGPT is a multi-model kind of, meaning is that it's not really one AI, it's kind of more AI together, some trained on voice. Currently the new 4.0 even can speak, and it even flirts, and it's really, really good. Oh yeah, it is fascinatingly good. But that means it has a lot of different modules already building, working together. However, that doesn't really solve the limitations. Yeah, it makes it more versatile with the caveats. So what works better is what actually AlphaFold is doing at Google's DeepMind, and they use it for protein synthesis. Yeah, that they use AI and non-AI components together, where actually each system helps the other out. Yeah, brute force simulation never ends. Yeah, but AI can speed it up and eliminate a lot of the unwanted, unnecessary iterations which just go wasted. But sometimes, if the AI is not confident, then it can always reach out to brute force, ask for some data, evaluate it, and go further with that. Yeah. That works better. Yeah. And yeah, this is kind of what we do, but we don't work with protein, but we work with situation awareness and kind of real world environments. So yeah, we have a digital twin kind of factory framework, and we use that basically to either generate better synthetic data for those scenarios where actually the data is currently used for AI models for very niche, very specific problems, they don't do very well because maybe that data isn't available in the real world. In very niche scenarios, it can be. So I don't know. I'm thinking about accidents, for example. Yeah, there's definitely less data about it than other things. And training data is biased anyways, because even if you look at social media, for instance, animals, yeah, that's an example. Cats are more represented because we all love them and share them in social media than other type of species, which are really, there are not many imagery. So it's harder to train these models. And that means that they perform poorer. So we generate the missing synthetic data, and also we can connect our modules with AI that when they actually come short, then we can help them out. Because an AI always is very good at language. Apparently, human language is more regular and more simple than we believed it would be. Yeah? When I'm talking about complexity, I'm not talking about complexity for our human understanding. I'm talking about complex computation. Yeah? There is similarity, but it's not quite the same. Yeah, and for AI, it's complex computation is the problem. Yeah, it's really good with simple computation, and it's probably a winner. Yeah, it's no use to make brute force because AI will win. Yeah, but in complex, it fails. Not always, but just way too often. Right. So this is what we built. So we have a simulation framework which allows us from small, from sub-centimeter to meter resolution, very, very large, even citywide data we can represent, and we can play in there, and then we can implement the rules. We have solvers which are a little bit similar to AI. We can run them to be a bit of generative, but they are not deep learning based. These are genetic solvers. It's more costly to run them, but they get to the result, and that's accurate. Yep. So we drive down the number of these iterations in different ways. We can package this up in AI, and then it goes as training data, and then AI is always faster and then lighter weight. Unless the model is so huge that actually it needs 200 data centers to spread across. But let's say we keep it lighter. Yeah, so we can run them generatively. We can also technically connect them with the generative AI itself, and a little bit go like the AlphaFold guys do, where actually we have the sim framework, we have the generative AI pre-trained with a set of training data, we let the AI run, and then we set some thresholds, set some parameters, and then when we feel confident, then okay, that's fine, we go with that. Or even the human operator can always ask for backup. If it doesn't look okay, if something, let's do a brute force run, and then it goes back. The fun part is that the brute force run can always be used in the next training cycle, so AIs will get always better and better, but they will always remain with these gaps. So basically we are iterating here that how a building spatially might look like on multiple floors without relying on AI. From a set of rules that spatially don't map, so meaning is we don't know where the rooms are, but we have a rough idea how they might connect, and these are text-based inputs. Yeah, so there's no drawing, there's no nothing, and then we try to, and this is heavy computation. It takes a while, but then it spits it out. Yeah, and then this can go into a generative AI model, or if we generate this in I don't know, 1 million of these scenarios, then that certainly can train some AI that will do some performance following that. We had some videos, but then we didn't manage to actually include them. Blame him. Yeah. We fly also UAVs in these areas, and we are interested to basically understand that where they might go. how they, especially in unfamiliar terrain, yeah, how these scenarios might play out, how they might endanger infrastructure, especially talking about critical infrastructure. So yeah, in the end, we are running a lot of agents and other types of more stupid AI, because we don't need generative AI for everything, to kind of game out and play out these scenarios. Yeah. So synthetic data, that's where we are heading as a business. That's our kind of ultimate end game, that we generate better and good synthetic data, clean, explainable, trustworthy synthetic data that we can help these models to get better in the future. And especially within niche challenges, yeah, where actually real-world data is not really available in sufficient quantity. Yeah, because AI is very data hungry. So especially generative AI, yeah, it's a lot of training data. Yeah, when accidents happens, the environment is completely unfamiliar. Just what if scenarios when actually you want to try something which probably nobody have attempted in before, something crazy, but we want to play it out. Yeah, virtually, you can simulate in digital twin, you do whatever you want, if the rules are there and they deliver on it. But otherwise, yeah, there's no counterpart in the real life. And also using new solutions, new materials, new methods, something that is not there yet. And then, yeah, we want to play with that and maybe package it on AI, or not even that, and just go with the brute force. And well, I kind of hinted on this earlier, that well, whenever AI gets stuck, it can always reach back to our simulation kind of frameworks and modules, and then yeah, we can work hand in hand. By the way, ChatGPT does it as well. So I really tricked it with that prime number because that wasn't very big. If you put in a huge one, then actually you see a prompt that it's linking to Wolfram Mathematica, yeah. And Stephen Wolfram, professor, yeah, he's a mathematician, and because ChatGPT struggles with geo problems, yeah, and he maps location, path finding, it's a massive problem for AI. And apparently prime numbers, and it always calls Wolfram Mathematica, and the data actually comes from there. And they made a deal like a year ago, maybe, OpenAI and Wolfram, because, well, Wolfram explained the OpenAI people that this is not going to work. So you need to use the other system as well, because you're never going to get these answers out of your model, no matter how big you grow it. It's going to get better, and it's utterly useful, but these things just not coming out. Yep, so if you would like to train and utilize AI better and in reliable ways that it actually becomes useful in your use cases, then perhaps, yeah, we are the people to talk to about it. And thank you very much for your attention. And of course, yeah, we remain available. My colleague sits behind there, John, as well. Yes, and yeah, just come and say hello. Or, yeah, thank you very much.